feeling like I'm Akademiks.
Like after watching the Bad Bunny historic performance at the Super Bowl, have you changed your mind? I've heard there's a couple mamacitas that you know what I mean, they're into, they love Vlad TV. Have you retracted your harsh statement that Bad Bunny performing at the biggest game was, not the wave? You said that before the game happened. What's your thoughts now?
No, I doubled down.
What?
If you look at my tweets after the Super Bowl, and shout out to Johnny Gill. I was at his house, the Super Bowl party, and him and I agree on this as well because we had a conversation about this afterwards. Like there was a whole, big room full of people, celebrities, Oscar winners, producers, whatever else. When the show came on, all the Spanish people that were there started to go crazy. They were like singing along, they were dancing, they were having the best time ever. Everyone else in that house who didn't speak English quietly watched the show because we didn't know the songs, we didn't understand the words.
Interesting.
Right? And me and him talked afterwards, and I was like, yo, what are your thoughts about this? I've always said this. He goes, I agree. He's like, the lyrics are such an important part of music that you can't just take them out and really expect that, to really convey to people at the highest level. Listen, now you can say, well, what about instrumental music? It's universal. Yes. How often do you see an instrumental song be a top hit? Anyway.
Hey, by the way, could I give
How often do you see a foreign language song? Yes, the Macarena came out like 20 years ago. Gangnam Style came out like 15 years ago. Every 5-10 years, some song will break through, but that's an anomaly. When it comes to music, and I'm a real DJ, like I really DJ'd for years, toured around the world, have mixtape awards, everything else like that. To me, the equivalent of listening to a foreign language song is taking a painting and cutting it in half.
Hey, by the way, Vlad, I still think this argument you have is complete bullshit because you use numbers only when it's convenient. You're saying, when's the last time we've seen a song not in Spanish break through? Well, let me give you a few stats, but I guarantee you're going to reject them all because it's not going to support your point. So Kendrick Lamar, has had few number ones ever. That's a fact. He performed at the Super Bowl. Kendrick Lamar, when it comes to streaming within the United States, not outside, he's been lapped by Bad Bunny. Okay. One of the biggest hip hop figures, I think some people would agree until I go on my 18-month run. Lil Baby got outsold. Lil Baby sold 34,000 record first week. In his second week, we had Bad Bunny, who was competing against him, sold 200 in the United States. Metric wise, there's no hip hop artist. There's even the ones that have performed. If you think that Kendrick Lamar deserved to perform, there's no metric that you could point to that would say that just numbers wise that this guy isn't. The only thing is English. Now, again, if you have any retort on the numbers thing, because I was going to go to the reason why I think it did work.
Well, I mean, when you look at the numbers of that particular song, right? Not Like Us. You don't think that was one of the biggest songs of the year in America? Numbers wise? That song, let's take a look at where that song is numbers wise. Right? So based on the strength of that one particular song and the overall impact of the song on top of it. But based on, if you're just talking about numbers alone, doesn't that song have over 1 billion streams? Let's take a look.
It does. It definitely does across.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So if you're talking about numbers, the numbers, Not Like Us is.
Okay, but hold on. Numbers wise, he doesn't compete.
Not Like Us is at 1.8 billion streams. Right now, granted, some time to see over a year has passed since then.
Vlad,
but
you're talking about one song.
Billion.
You're talking about one song, and literally, Bad Bunny has last year and the year before take 3 of his months, and it's more than Kendrick Lamar's whole year. Okay, that's cumulative in the United States.
I get it.
So I get if you're trying to make it off one song. The point is this, and even with that song, right? Obviously, it matters to us, and this is what I was trying to say. You're being small-minded a bit because we all care about hip hop, right? So if like for example, I'm being a little bit facetious, but I'm like, yo, look at what the players are saying. Look at what the culture is saying. Put YoungBoy up there next. The reality is that the majority of Americans, just by the numbers or just regularly, they don't know who YoungBoy is, or they don't know YoungBoy's songs. Outside of that Kendrick Lamar one song that did phenomenal numbers for that year, Kendrick Lamar was not a top streamed artist like that. Who I'm talking about his entirety of his catalog outside of the beat.
Well, I don't know about that, because if you actually look at the numbers, all the stars, 2.8 billion. Luther, 1.4 billion. Remember, SZA performed as well.
That all came during that time.
That all came during that time. 2.1 billion.
That all came during that time. And those are duets.
Which was already out for a long time, 2.9 million. Love, 1.8 billion. Swimming Pools, 1.1 billion. Pride, 1.1 billion. He has a ton of songs over 1 billion streams.
And Bad Bunny has more.
The numbers support his performance.
And Bad Bunny has more.
The numbers totally support it, especially in America, especially with an English-speaking audience.
Okay, and Bad Bunny has so Bad Bunny has more. So what I'm saying is that if we're objectively going off numbers, just objectively, right? If we're objectively,
so you're telling me, okay? So what you're telling me is that in America,
so in 2024,
Bad Bunny was streamed more than Kendrick that year in America.
Yes, the beef happened in May 2024. I remember it like is yesterday.
Okay.
So that year, the top streamed artist was Taylor Swift, The Weeknd, Bad Bunny, Drake, then Billie Eilish.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
And in 2025, Bad Bunny was the number one most streamed artist. Then Taylor Swift. Then The Weeknd, Drake, and Billie Eilish. They all. It's the same list for the last 3 years, with the exception of Pesa Pluma, who's actually a Mexican artist. Interesting.
Yeah.
He's in it in 2023, but it's the same artist. Here's the point what I'm trying to make. Right. Objectively, numbers wise, Bad Bunny kills this guy. Like, there's no competition between Bad Bunny and Kendrick. Here's when you say the English thing is that it's dependent on, if we're saying that there's consumption for it in the United States, it's about if you or me like it and people that we know, right? Because I don't listen to Billie Eilish, but if she's actually picked up there, whether I understand her words or not, I don't know her songs and I don't really like whatever the hell she got going on, most likely. Yeah. So the thing with Kendrick, okay, you're basically saying Kendrick made it off, and if we look at his streams, it was primarily between the songs that came out during the beef, and yes, he has some duets. Outside of that, he's not streamed that much, so they put a guy on the Super Bowl for one song during a moment. So now you're saying that guy is more valid than a guy who's crushing it for the entire year. For the last, since 2020, I just want to give you the stat. Since 2020, 3 out of 5 years, he's been the top 5 most streamed artist. Taylor Swift has been the other 2. It's Bad Bunny and Taylor Swift. By the way, every day this year, every single day, Bad Bunny is the most streamed artist on Spotify, with the exception of a few days, and those days only went to Taylor Swift. It's a 1-2 show. If you can't get Taylor Swift and you want the biggest, you got to go with Bad Bunny. Now,
all right. So hold on. I just looked it up while I was talking to you. I did some chat GPTs and I kind of focused on the US. So in 2024, Bad Bunny was streamed between 4.7 and 5.2 billion. Kendrick was streamed between 4.1 and 4.6. It's really close. The two of them had similar streaming numbers that year. In the US only. Now, globally, it's a whole different story. In the US only, they were very similar in streams.
Okay, perfect. Now you get to the argument that I want to have. Do you think the Super Bowl is meant to be a US catering event, or is it a global catering event? What would you think?
I think that the reality is that it's a U.S. catered event, but the aspiration is for it to be a global event. And this is why they chose Bad Bunny that year, this year.
Absolutely not. I think the opposite. I think they've been trying to get to international markets. They've flaunted the idea.
Trying. No. But primarily right now, it's still a U.S. event. They want it to be more global.
I'm not saying that's primarily, but what I'm saying the goals of the NFL. The goals of the NFL is
the goal is definitely global, 100%.
They have games almost
they want
every
it to be
week.
bigger than soccer. Yeah, they want it to be the next soccer. I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is why they did that. And, ultimately it makes sense business-wise for what they do in it. I mean, and does Bad Bunny deserve to be on that stage? 100%. Am I happy that he got on that stage? 100%. Did I watch the show and did not enjoy it because they don't speak English, and watch a whole bunch of other people that don't speak English have the same reaction? Yes. And that was my point. I feel that right now, it should have been an artist that catered to the actual primary audience, which is English speaking, and it should have been in English. And that's my point. And people can disagree with you.
So let me ask you a question. When Kendrick Lamar hops up on the Super Bowl platform and he's performing a song based on a diss, which is a diss song to one guy that, yes, culturally and the entire hip hop is clued in, you think that someone who is a Zach Bryan fan, who's from Oklahoma or maybe Nashville, Tennessee. You think they know what the hell's going on? So again, the point is you can't have
okay, but here's the thing. Whether they know what's going on or not, whether they're a fan of the song and can sing along or not is one thing. But to actually listen to the show and understand the lyrics, I think that's a big deal as opposed to, basically expose, like basically listening to a bunch of gibberish because you don't understand the language. Like, there are some hot rappers out of China, out of Russia, or,
you
out
think
of Japan,
during the Super Bowl
right?
where they advertise the most amount of beer, alcohol, and other, mind-altering substances, they're thinking about, I hope y'all get the lyrics? Because this is my next argument. My next argument was going to be this. I think of all the Super Bowls, obviously the Dr. Dre and that conglomerate, but also Shakira and, was it J-Lo or Shakira?
J-Lo, yeah. J-Lo and Shakira. Yeah.
I think what this Super Bowl checked the box off was that it felt intimate. It was full of vibes. Yes, I get it. There was not many songs you could sing, line for line, but it's like feel-good music that you might not know. Have you ever gone to like an event where maybe you don't know all the songs, but it's just feel-good music? Right? And that's what happens when you go outside your comfort zone and you go to other cultures or other type of music that might play music that is sonically appeasing, whatever. You might not know everything, but it's feel good. I thought they did a great job giving really feel good music and the vibes were there. And I think
it was a cool show, man. It was well produced, everything else like that. But the thing is that Bad Bunny, from what I see, appears to be a lyricist. He's not like a singer or harmonizer where just...
No, hold on.
But Bad Bunny, like, is he just like singing, like repeating a phrase over and over again and just singing melodies? I feel like there's actual lyrics and meaning behind his songs. Like his songs are pretty dense.
Oh no, you're right.
But his songs seem very dense lyrics-wise, right? So clearly he has something to say, and there's clearly messages he's trying to portray in his music and try to get along to the actual listener.
Put like this.
My thing is that I missed all of that. Even if I look up what the meanings are or the translations, it's not the same in terms of the nuances of someone actually singing and so forth. So people who listen to Kendrick Lamar at least can hear what he has to say.
Yeah, but nobody
people watching Bad Bunny have no idea outside of the vibes. That's it, man. And that's the point. I'm a serious music person, man. The DJ, my name is not just for show.
No, I get it, but you're also you're with a hip hop mind to say lyricism. Like a lot of times, it's the melody. It's what drives the song. Like for example, first of all, I've dated hella Latinas. I love Latinas. I love my black women too. But still, I understand a decent amount of Spanish. I took some Spanish in high school, but when I hear the Monaco song, like I know the beat and I know like the general melody, and I turn up to that song without knowing the lyrics or is verbatim or what they mean. Like that happens a lot, right? Like again, I only know Titi Me Pregunto because he says it when the song starts. But like, do I know every word? It's a feel good type of thing. And the thought that you're saying that have you been to the Super Bowl? I'm pretty sure you have, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I've been to the Super Bowl and I watched Usher, and the experience in the stadium, it's like, you see how many people that, number one, first of all, I remember when I went, I had tickets this year, I gave it to my brother, whatever. These are $40,000 tickets, and $40,000 a pop, right? Yo, these people don't know these songs. You get what I'm saying? Like, I had an amazing time watching Usher, and I'm watching him like do all this amazing stuff, and I think it plays better on TV as it does in a stadium, because I'm sitting next to some white guy who's a hillbilly who got money because, I don't know, like his parents are from like Nashville that own some product that I don't know about, and they're just standing there like, what the fuck is Usher? They don't even know what it is. So the idea that you appease everybody and just because they could understand it, they like it. No, they stand there and they look at it and they're like, what the heck is this? That's why when I think Kai Cenat said he went to the Super Bowl and that nobody was going crazy for Kendrick shit, I agree. If it was that Summer Jam, they probably would, but it's a Super Bowl. Yo, when I went to the Super Bowl, I remember, listen, and think about how much, I'm thinking I'm going to see all these rappers. That nigga, I brought all type of security saying, yo, we might have to rumble in this bitch. There was all white people. There ain't no niggas there. And when you seen them bum ass niggas, they were dolly because it cost so much. The idea is this. Vlad. There is not like an abundance of cultural people at these events that they need to please. It's usually everybody's never going to be happy. If you play Taylor Swift, there's going to be someone who's saying, Why isn't it not real rock and roll, or why is it not real country?
I get it, man. I get all this, right? But at the end of the day, there's language. That's it. All I'm saying is, in a language that the core audience, and I looked it up, 70% of the NFL Super Bowl audience is based in America. Only 30% is based outside, and that's scattered with a whole bunch of different countries. Right. Some, mostly in England and Australia, I'm sure, English-speaking countries. But yeah, people aren't watching the Super Bowl outside of the U.S. the way they are here. And in America, 85% of the population doesn't speak Spanish. So that's
Vlad,
all I'm saying.
I want to hook you up with an interview. I want to hook you up with an interview that you could get a little bit more insight. I'll give an example. I remember one of the highest viewed episodes that I did on Off the Record. I had to deal with Spotify at the time. We used to do like these weekly meetings, and they're definitely numbers focused, as any company who's giving you millions would be. And one of the interviews, like I remember doing the WAC 100 6ix9ine thing. We knew that was going to blow it out the park. There was a few other ones we know I was going crazy. And one of the ones that was really sneakily, surprisingly, really popular was when I sat down with Anwell, because I don't think there was many conversations that bled into the hip hop culture that I kind of I'm surveying and reporting on, but the numbers were so ridiculous. I get and I say that to you.
Who's the artist?
Anwell. And I say
Anwell. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do Anwell.
And I say that to you because I think that you're, again, I'm with you. I don't think that was not for you in particular. Like, there was clubs sold out near where I was watching it at that literally was a viewing party for just that. There's a massive Hispanic audience, especially in the Northeast Coast, that's just them. I would love for you to sit down with J Balvin and
I would love to, man.
Of course, Bad Bunny, but I don't know if he would do it.
Listen, I sat down with
even some of the Dominican artists.
When I interviewed Tekashi, isn't Tekashi a Spanish artist?
Yeah, but he's Mexican. And that would go into that's a little bit different. The diaspora that comes from Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico, again, number one, it's a territory of the United States.
Yeah.
They kind of rule the entire Latin, ecosphere, but then it's the DR. And, shout out to all the Mexican artists, like, for example, Tekashi and, for example, Peso Pluma. And what's my guy who was just on tour? Oh, my God. What am I forgetting his name? He was just on tour with Youngboy.
Oh, yeah. From Texas.
Yes, that's my guy.
D-Baby.
D-Baby. Yeah.
So we're supposed to actually do an interview, man. Shout out to D-Baby.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Like, these guys are amazing. But when you get down there into the weeds of, that Puerto Rican, Dominican culture and their music, you'll realize that it's not on them to kind of make the Russian Jewish guy who grew up in hip hop understand what they got going on. It's a little bit on you to kind of figure out why so many people give a fuck about what they're doing. And I had to do that. I think a lot of people eventually will have to do that, because here's the thing. Latin artists are completely smothering and killing U.S. hip hop artists in numbers, metrics, by everything conceivable, right? It's the reason why Bad Bunny had 30, he did 30 dates. He did a residency in Puerto Rico. You know what it did? It brought $750 million in GDP to Puerto Rico. He forced people, the only way you could see him is to go to the country, spend money on hotels, go to a show. These guys, they can't even do it. Half of these hip hop guys can't even do nothing. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to realize that, hey, just money-wise, market-wise, numbers-wise, it makes sense. And I watched it, and it was a lot of vibes, man. Them Latinas were shaking that ass, man. I can't lie to you, Vlad. I can't lie to you, bro. I got to bring you to a strip club. Vlad, we're going to... Hey, there's a Spanish strip club up here. I'm bringing you, Vlad. It's going to be a great time.
I'm down. Let's do
and
it, man.
I'm going to tell them to play all Bad Bunny through the whole time. But they're going to have a whole lot of Latin ass shaking. And I'm going to watch if you're not having a whole lot of fun.
It's all good, man. Listen, we've been on for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You want me to interview next time? I think this is
Glad it hit me, man.
I think I've done your platform at this point. You know what I mean? I think this qualifies as that. My kids is looking at me like, Dad, when you going to come back?
It's all good, man. Spend some time with the family, yo. Send my love to them. Thank you for coming on here. And, you're my brother.
All good.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. Peace.
Text me.
Yep.
Okay. We kind of turned that into I'm gonna turn that into something positive, I guess, right? I don't know. I think you guys understand, like,